Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we're going to learn about the historical research. Our topic is historical research, and in historical research, today's session will look on the data evaluation in historical research. How do you evaluate data in historical research? By introduction, what is historical research? By the way, what is historical research? When we say historical research, we mean a type of research. Is a type of research that examines the past events. It's a types of research that examine the past events, or the combination of events to arrive at an account of what has been happening in the past. So researchers try to investigate the past event and then come up with explanation or an account that to explain what has been happening in that past. Or historical research, you may say, is a systematic and organized investigation of the past. Is a systematic. When you say systematic, means the historical research also, it follows the steps. There are some steps that historians, when you want to conduct a research in historical events, must follow. For example, there is the issues of problem identification. You must identify the problem. What is the problem? And then, how would you collect the data? Data collection. And then, how you analyze that data? How you evaluate your information or your data? And come up with conclusion. All the steps the historian must follow. But what a researcher tries to do in historical research? What a researcher tries to do in historical research? Because in history, always we deal with the past, and the past has been gone. Is it necessary for the historian to search about the past while we are in the present? So the historian or the researcher tries to record. Tries to what? Tries to record. What are they recording? They record the past. They record the facts. When we say with the fact, it means the information or the data that the historians try to investigate. So they record those past and then interpret them, because in history, all information are there, all data are there, but those data are interpreted one. So the historian, after recording this data and then interpret it again, for which purpose? They interpret the historical data for the aims of providing the better understanding of the past. If you understand better the past, then they make the connection to the present. Right? So, the conducting of this historical research have brought many advantages. For example, historical research help us to uncover which are unknown. What does it mean? It means that the researcher, when conducting the historical research, they want to expose what thing has been left in the history. So they come up with a new information which uncover what has been known. And second, it answers the question. So historical research, it helps us to answer the question. If there is a lot of questions concerning the historical past, so the researchers try to answer those questions. But another purpose is identifying the relation that the past has to the present. As I say, that the past have a closer relation with what? With the present. So if we conducting the historical research, it means we want to create or to establish the relationship that the past has to the present. What thing has been happened in the past is related to those that has been happened now. And also, historical research, it helps to understand the culture which we live and know that the most of our ancestors, they have their own culture. So all things which we see today is rooted from what? From the past. So our culture is not new today, but it's been rooted to the what? To the past. So this historical research help us to see. It helps us to see what we do today is rooted in the what? In the past. Now, as I said that the subtopic of today will be concerned about the data evaluation. How would you evaluate the data in historical research? Once you want to conduct a historical research, you need to correct the data. And all data that have been corrected is not all are true. So you want to evaluate which one is accurate and which one is not accurate. So how would you evaluate and come up with conclusion that this data is accurate and this is not accurate? Firstly, we're supposed to know what is data evaluation, by the way. What is data evaluation? What is this? To evaluate means to assess or to judge the quality of something. The quality of something. So data evaluation means as a process of judging the quality of information or the quality of what? Of data. So in this process, the researcher tries to realize that this information is accurate and this information is not accurate. So how the researcher would, what is the criteria or what are the guides to the researchers which help him or her to judge that this is accurate and this is not accurate? Remember, the data used in historical research must meet the test of internal and external criticism or internal and external evaluation. Once you want to evaluate your data, you're supposed to look on internal and external evaluation or criticism. When you say internal criticism or evaluation and external criticism or evaluation, what does this mean? Internal criticism refers to determination of the validity or the accuracy of the data contained in the source. You evaluate, you determine the accuracy of the data in what? In the source. Are these information accurate? You look on internal of your source. For example, you have this source. You have this source. So what you are going to look is content. You are going to look on the content which have been written in this source. Internal means content of the what? Of your source. Is it accurate or not? And the end of doing this is just to minimize the subjectivity of your information. Subjectivity, the biasness. We're going to minimize the biasness of your information and to reduce the extent of false statements. Are you okay? What are the concepts which are contained in this internal criticism? Now, if you are going to look on the content which have been contained in the source, it means we come up with the concept of positive criticism. We come up with the concept of what? Positive criticism. Positive criticism, what is this? When you say positive criticism, it's just the making sure that you understand the meaning conveyed in the source. Once you read this source, make sure that you understand the meaning conveyed in this source. So, if you are aware about the meaning which conveyed in the source, it means you come up or you lead to the point of positive criticism. But sometimes you may encounter with some problem. You fail to understand the meaning which conveyed in the source. At that point, the researchers, the historians, come up with two concepts, which are vagueness and representism. These two concepts act as a problem or obstacle that the researcher encounters when he wants to reach at the point of the positive criticism. What does this mean? When you say vagueness, what does it mean? Vagueness sometimes you may say as ambiguous, the ambiguity, the ambiguous of the sentence or ambiguous of the word. So you may find some word having more than one meaning. So you fail to identify this word, it means what? It means this or it means this. So you fail to get the meaning which have been intended in that source. So that is a problem. And when you say presentism, it means the assumption that the present day connotation items also existed in the past. That some words, it's changed their meaning according to the time. For example, the word investors. Now, investors, there's some idea that investors is the one who just invested somewhere for the benefit of the host and the stranger. But previously, the investors mean those who are exploited one. So once you use the same concept that the present day connotation items or words meaning had the same meaning as what has been happened in the past, you will be failed to understand the meaning which have been conveyed in the source. So all these two concepts act as the obstacle to lead to the point of positive criticism. Now, that is a positive criticism, but what is a negative criticism? What is negative criticism? When you say negative criticism, this refers to establish the accuracy of the content. Is this content accurate or not accurate? And other sources. So in order to establish the accuracy of the source, some scholar known as G. Weinberg come up with criteria that will guide the researcher to judge if the source is accurate or the source is not accurate. And this criteria is called Weinberg's heuristic criteria of negative criticism. And this is how it would help you to evaluate your data. This criteria is help the researchers to evaluate his data. There are three criteria which has been proposed by Weinberg. One is corroboration, two is contextualization, and three is sourcing. Note: corroboration and contextualization are based in internal criticism, and the last sourcing is based on external criticism. When you say corroboration as a criteria which will help you to judge if this information is accurate or is not accurate, what does it mean? When you say corroboration, it means comparing. We compare our source For example, we have source 1 and we have source 2. We want to use the one among of these by looking internal. The information, the content which contained in this source is accurate or not accurate. So we use corroboration as criteria to compare two sources which have explained the same event. What we are looking, we're looking that if these sources explained the same event. If yes, they lead to the same conclusion or not. If they explain the same content and they lead to the same conclusion, it means that these sources are accurate. These sources are authentic. So the data found in this source will be the what? Will be the accurate. What is the aims of doing this? Our aims is to establish the accuracy of the data if they are related to this source. Are you together? Yes. What's the contextualization? What does this mean when we say the contextualization? The context means it's just as the environment, the area. So here now we're just looking when and where the event took place. For example, what do you say maybe a revolution? If the revolution occurred. So in contextualization, you're supposed to ask yourself, did the event really occur? Oh yes, a revolution is occurred. Oh okay. If it's occurred, when? And we all know that the revolution is happened in 1964. So if the source, in this source, explained the revolution in Zanzibar, and they told the writer wrote that the revolution has happened in 1964, it means this source is what? Is authentic. So the information contained in this source is what? Is accurate. But if they wrote the different from what we know, it means that this source is what? It's not authentic. The information contained in this source is not accurate. And then we come up, where does this event occur? And we all know that even the revolution is happened in Zanzibar. So if the writer wrote the revolution have been occurred in Zanzibar, it means this source is the authentic and the information is accurate. But we come up with another question: Did it take place as it was described? The writer wrote how the event took place, but the explanation is real as what happened. We just cross-searching those sources and come up with conclusion. If all these questions is answered well with the writers, it means this source is accurate and this source is authentic and the data is what is accurate. That is all about internal criticism and how would evaluate your source internal. So you're looking on many contextualization and corroboration. So let's now move to the external criticism. What's the external criticism? What does this mean? What's the external criticism refers to determining the source, determining the authenticity of your source. Authenticity of your source external. It's not internal, it's not the content, but external. What is the purpose of doing that? The purpose is to see if this source is what is claimed to be. There's some people might find that this source, there's some people claim that this source has been written by someone, and you used to know well there's someone. So if they claim that this source maybe it has been written by Professor Ngunde, is this accurate or not? Is Professor Ngunde wrote this source or not? So you used to evaluate or to criticize this source externally. How would you evaluate source externally? That's some question we are supposed to ask ourselves. or there's some guide which help you to evaluate this source external. For example, identifying the author. This source was believed by whom? You are just looking at the author name. If nothing the author name, and the people that claim this source has been written by Professor Ngunde, you just come to see the date of publication and the place of publishers. Maybe some books which have been written by that person is written maybe in city, maybe in Morogoro and Chumachakavu publishers, and you know that this person or this author used to mostly use these cities and what and the publishers. But you're going to look, is this the same as what has been written with the other's book? If the same place of publishers and the publishers and the publishers is the same with others' book, it means that this source has been written by that person. If not, you say that is not written by that person, and you are going to look for another criteria or another guide. For example, you are going to look about the language used in relation to the time, because the language is changed according to what? According to the time. So if that book has been written at that time, and language which contained in that source is late to that time, the language used in the Agano Lakale and Agano Libya is quite different. So language can be used according to what? According to the time. But it's not enough. You are going to see with the signature. Maybe the Professor Ngunde that has his own style of writing what? Or writing the signature. So you're going to see if this signature belongs to Professor Ngunde or not. If it's belongs to Professor Ngunde, it means this source is written by Professor Ngunde. If not, you come up with another criteria or guide. For example, you are just looking about the handwriting. If you know well the handwriting of that person, you're going to see if this source, the handwriting of this source is belong to Professor Ngunde or not. And you're going to see about the spelling that have been used by that person. All these will help you to judge externally if this source is accurate, is authentic or not authentic. If this source is authentic, we mean that even the content which contained in this source will be accurate. Remember that the last one is where the Weinberg grouped into one criteria, which is sourcing. Externally, we use criteria of sourcing to judge the authenticity of the source. Okay, I think you are aware about how would you evaluate your sources, internal and external, by using the criteria of Weinberg, who proposed the 3 criteria: 1, corroboration; 2, sourcing; and 3, contextualization. Thank you very much. We shall meet the next time. Thank you.